Hey, hi, hello. What are you up to? This is the Aloha Broha podcast.
Science.
I am one of your hosts, John Cozy, and with me, as always, is Science Ben. Who,
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, Science. You're just owning that fucking catchphrase now.
That was what we agreed to when Kevin was here.
Yeah.
Except like he was gonna say "What are you up to?" and now he's not here, and so I just have to like jump in at some point and be like,
there you go. I know he can't be surprised, brother. Yeah, Qualified is not here with us, unfortunately, because he's doing, he's married. He got to do the married life thing. Which I have no idea.
Loser.
Whatever. Keep whatever makes him happy. But yeah, with us today though, our guest, we have the Crappy Kids. Chad and Marvin from the Crappy Kids, a local brand.
Yes.
Clothing brand, or you guys are more than a clothing brand? You think it's just a brand in general?
Yeah, I guess we'll be like everyone else. We'll call ourselves a lifestyle brand.
Lifestyle.
we're a lifestyle, I guess.
Yeah.
You know,
Lifestyle.
yeah,
yeah,
something like that. I don't know, something like that.
They are a local brand, lifestyle brand, who have convinced people to buy shit, literally, right?
Yeah,
that's like your guys' thing. Like, let's convince people to buy crap.
Well, I tell everyone, our main goal is to prove that like if we can sell a shirt with a piece of crap on it and become successful, then anyone can do what they want to do as long as they work hard towards it and never give up kind of aspect. Mm-hmm. And I also tell people like, yeah, literally we're trying to just sell you crap because we see a lot of crap out there that's being sold. So they're like, hey, let's just put crap on a shirt and see if it goes. Because
let's sell our crap.
Yeah, because people are just selling crap. Like you see some stuff where like who buys? You see some stuff like who buys that? Then they're like, hey, somebody buys it. So
yeah. I fucking love your guys' logo and stuff. Like, cause I didn't realize that you could turn a piece of crap into so many different things that people can relate to. Like right now, you're wearing a fucking Totoro shirt, right? Totoro in the shape of a piece of shit.
Yes.
That's fucking wonderful.
Yeah,
that's tight, man.
I mean, going into it, we were like, you can't make it graphic or anything. You know what I mean? You don't want to show like my two rules are never to show anything defecating. That's one rule, and never to use the S word shit, because I try to keep it family friendly kind of. Even though I'm using crap, which is weird, but those are my two rules in designing stuff. Just never use the S word and never show things defecating. So that's all it is.
That's just offensive.
Man. Yeah,
I don't want to see some.
Yeah,
nobody
like,
wants to fucking see that. That's
no,
they got doors
that's
in
where
front
you're
of
wrong.
the
There are definitely people who want to see.
They want to see.
They want to see it, but they don't want to wear it.
Nah, Shitty Kids is already taken. That's why.
Oh yeah, that's
There's already another.
You're right. I mean, because if people didn't want to see people defecating, we wouldn't have two girls in one cup.
Yeah, there's like a whole genre
right.
of scat porn.
Yeah,
It's just people shitting.
There's
on
an
people.
audience for it. There's an audience for it.
But that's not the audience that you guys are trying to tap into, obviously.
No,
I hope
not
not. I hope not. I mean, hey, if they're into that, whatever.
I don't know. There might be some people.
If they like it for what it is, and not just because they like scatting stuff.
I won't judge. I won't judge you scat people out there. So, hey, you into
Whatever
that?
floats your turds.
We want to get more than just you.
Yeah. There's times where I think people believe that maybe I'm into scat because they're like, hey, you started you started a whole brand based on it, so you're like, hey, are you into it? I'm like, no. You know what I mean? That
Just play it off, yeah. No,
yeah.
gross.
So I guess the next question is, are you into scat?
Oh no, man, no.
Okay, and then the question after that would be, what's your guys' history? Like, tell me a little history about it. Yeah, that was my fucking failed attempt at a segue. Did you catch that? Like, I'm not fucking
how we got
whatever.
started.
Yeah, tell us and our listeners a little bit about like how you guys got started.
It's kind of like there's a lot of parts to it. One of it was it's very interesting. Like this is way before I even wanted to do a brand. It was more so the motivation. There was a Blue Scholars show in which one? The one that was upstairs in Chinatown. Which one was that?
Oh, the Loft.
The Loft.
Yeah, I think I opened.
It was at the Loft, right?
So. Yeah.
That was like way back.
Yeah.
And then it was interesting because it was me and my brother. We had tickets to it and stuff like that. We were the first in line of like we were in the front and we were ready to go in, whatever. But and this is when before I even knew everybody yet.
Yeah.
They let everyone else in first before us, even though we were front and we had the tickets, whatever. They let like I saw Rihanna went in, and I think I saw you guys went in, and a bunch of people just went in. It's because you guys know know each other. You know the people there, so that's why you go
Yeah, I
in
believe
and stuff like that.
I don't know if we opened. Did we perform at that event?
I think so. I think
like
I
me
think
and
so.
I think Il Hill
It was a
performed
while.
that one,
It was a while back, but yeah. So that kind of like it irritated me because like we're like, hey, we're here, but even though we're first, the fact that we were nobodies, we weren't able to get in and stuff like that. So that was kind of the motivation about it. Like we're like, it kind of motivated me to be like, hey, I want to be somebody. I kind of want to like do something. You know, I just want to be somebody. So that kind of helped motivate to what I wanted to do. And then I kind of figured out through like my brother started drawing. He did this like back in high school. He started drawing poop on like all over the place. Like he used to burn CDs for people, like make mixtapes, I guess, or whatever. They give him a list. You know how like downloading illegally was a thing back then. Oh yeah. And then you'd people
CDRs in the fucking CD binder.
And then people would send you lists, right? And they're like, hey, make me this CD with all these songs, right? So you find the songs for them. So he used to do that. And whenever he'd give the CD to somebody, he used to draw this poop on it. It's not the same poop, but like he used to draw poop on it, and he called himself like Crappy Records or something like that. And because that's his kind of nickname thingy he always chose for his video games. Is he always chose it as Crappy. So I'm like, okay, I kind of took that aspect, and I'm like, let me try to do it as a brand. And I came up with the whole story, like, hey, you know, I mean, if we can do this as selling a shirt with piece of crap, then you can be successful too and stuff like that. So I kind of like planned the whole story out and just kind of like, you know, thought it through. Like I didn't want to just make a brand without a purpose. You know what I mean? There should always be a purpose to what you're doing. It shouldn't just be like, hey, I'm just doing it just because. So yeah, our brand is just this silly poop, whatever, but there's a lot of things behind it, you know what I mean, that you don't really see when you just first look at it. So yeah, that's kind of how it kind of started.
I imagine there's like corn and nuts and stuff.
There's a lot of people that are all like, yeah, could you draw corn on it too? I'm like, no, that's not the point though. A lot of people like to go graphic on it. I'm like, it's weird. Like hey, you should do like little poop. Even my printer, like when I first introduced him to like what we're gonna do, he was like, yeah, you should do like little poop. I mean, little cornflake thingies on there. I'm like, wait, no, that's not how the brand is. But like my printer thought that like it would be funny and stuff like that. But like, it just kind of like the way you see it, I guess, you know what I mean. And a lot of it is too like the reason why we do the brand is like, and the reason why we chose like crap as a theme is because like I myself don't like to take things too seriously sometimes, and I feel like a lot of brands, they kind of take themselves too serious sometimes.
Way too serious.
Yeah, way too serious. You know what I mean? Like you do like a lot of like these serious stuff. And
yeah,
it's
like there was like a phase. I don't know if people still do it. I remember seeing like a lot of brands come up with like fucking like satanic or Masonic like imagery. You know, like a lot of fucking pentagrams and upside down crosses.
White and they got like triangles on everything.
And then were you really about that life? You know what I mean? That's the thing. It's like so when we did the brand, it's like, we're just kind of having fun with it, you know what I mean? And then it's like, that's how we are. We're just having fun this whole time. So that the whole brand kind of reflects of how our personalities are. We're just having fun with everything. And it's just not to take everything too serious, you know what I mean? Because hell, we're selling you a crap. It's like, it's not supposed to be serious, so that's what it is. But you know, so yeah, that's how pretty much we kind of got started. Okay.
So we got two other crappy kids over here. We got Marvin and Chad. Can you each like tell us what roles you guys play within the brand?
Well, I'm Chad, Crap Master Chad, whatever. Lofa gave me that name. I don't know. It's like it's funny. It's funny because like we discussed that, like, you don't choose your nickname. Yeah. Someone chooses it for you, and then he chose that, and it just stuck. So I'm like, whatever then. And then pretty much I guess I created the brand, whatever, you know what I mean. So that's my role, I guess. So, and then Marvin.
This is Marvin. Me, I was taken in as a crew member. It's about like 2 years ago?
2 years
so
ago.
Like 2 years ago, and then that's when our crew is just comprised of like a lot of different people, and we come from like different backgrounds and stuff. We're into different things, and for me, like, I was just there to like help out with night markets a lot. Like that's how I started to get into the brand. Is like my cousin who brought me into the crew, Lance, who's part of the Crappy Kids, but he doesn't show up as much anymore.
He's a married man. Well, not even married, but he's technically a married.
So he's like our Kevin.
Yeah, in a sense, you know.
I think he's been in a relationship longer, but he's still not married.
Oh yeah, he's like 12 years in or 11 years in.
Yeah, he just had his like 11-year anniversary.
So it's kind of appropriate that both of them aren't here today.
Yeah, he was the one though. He started bringing me around, and then he stopped coming, but I stay with the brand, and then I come out to events and stuff. And then we just started to form like a lot more people in it, and that's when I was like, oh yeah, I really want to be in this for the long run.
Right.
So I started doing a lot more, being more interactive with the brand. So I started taking pictures for them and stuff.
Yes.
Started coming out to a lot more events, and then now I'm doing this podcast with alongside Crapmaster Chad.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much Marvin, like, when I need him, like, he's there. You know, I mean, that's why he's always here. So that's why I always look up to him, because like no questions asked. If I need him there and I ask him, that he'll be there if he can make it. You know what I mean? And if not, then he can't. So that's what, like, a lot of times, like, I need for people is like, hey, I need your help, kind of thing. So. And a lot of it too is like it's fun just doing a brand with friends, kind of thing. You know what I mean? You always get to just enjoy it. You know what I mean? So it's not, you don't really kind of see it as work. You're just like having fun. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. So.
Yeah.
Does your brand have like a particular message behind it, or was it just like we're gonna do this to gain notoriety and kind of get ourselves out there so that the stuff that we like doing and whatnot gets out there too and whatnot?
Yeah, it kind of started like how I said, just trying to be somebody. Then when the whole group aspect came along, it kind of got to the point where it's like I wanted everybody to use the brand to kind of further themselves in whatever they're trying to do. You know what I mean? So like if Marvin's trying to get into photography and just trying to further himself in that, here is an avenue that you have the brand to kind of excel at, or you know what I mean, just further your.
You can use this to help promote whatever.
Whatever you're trying to do, and that's what initially we tried to do with the whole crew. Is just if you're trying to do something, here's a reason for you to start working on whatever.
Here's an avenue to bring it up through and whatnot.
Yeah, that's what we pretty much was. Yeah, that's what it is. So, and yeah, a lot of people have been using it, like, and I'm always open to like working with other people and stuff like that. So. Yeah, the main goal is just trying to share the brand and try to like benefit everybody, you know what I mean, whoever I can, my friends and stuff like that with it. So because I always just you can just be here and like you take it for granted or whatever, you know what I mean, like the brand could be here, it could be not. And, like I'm always surprised in how people say like, oh, your brand's getting kind of popular or whatever or stuff like that. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like in my head, I'm like, nah, it's not. Is it really? Like, but then other people are like, oh, your brand's so popular and stuff like that. I'm like, I guess.
I quad. That's why I quad.
Yeah, like people are like, oh, you own Waipahu High School. Like everybody in Waipahu High School wears your stuff. Yeah, that's what people tell me. I'm like, I don't see it. I don't see it, but people tell me that. Then I'm like, I trip out sometimes. But I'm like, it's weird. You know what I mean? It's weird sometimes. I'm like,
yeah, well, it's a cool brand, man. I noticed you guys like to. You guys, it seems like you guys are into a lot of different things, like anime, video games.
Right.
You guys even got a fucking MF Doom shirt over there.
Yeah.
You tap into the hip hop audience. Are the characters you choose to portray a reflection of like of what? Well, obviously it is a reflection of what you guys are into, right?
Right.
How much of pop culture is influencing your brand? Like, how do you guys pick like the characters that you choose to portray on your shirts?
Well, a lot of the reasons why we do certain things in the brand is there's always a reason behind it, and a lot of it is because it's what we like. Yeah. It's never because like, hey, we're doing this because it's trending, or hey, it's because, you know what I mean, like we feel like this is gonna be the most popular thing out. It's never because of that. We always do it because it's what we like, and like
it's a lot of we like this.
Yeah,
so we're gonna make this popular.
Yeah, because we're like, hey, we like it, so let's see if other people like it. We're the way we work is like we're not trying to find our fans. I mean, well, we're trying to find our fans, I guess, whatever. But we're not trying to like force fans to like us. You know what I mean? We're just trying to find the same people that like the stuff that we like. We don't want to force people to like us. Like make a certain shirt. Like, hey, this is trending right now, so let's make this shirt because everyone else likes it. We'll do it because we like, you know what I mean? Like the MF Doom shirt is a good example because you would never think that we kind of like listen to hip hop kind of or whatever, or like that kind of thing, MF Doom or whatever. But I got introduced to MF Doom through the band Gorillaz, and I love Gorillaz and stuff like that. And he was on one of their tracks, and from there I listened to like the Adult Swim album. What is it called? I forgot whatever. Anyway, the Adult Swim album, and then from there I just like MF Doom. So it's like you look at it just from seeing us and seeing our Instagram, you wouldn't think, like, you would wonder like, why did we do MF Doom? It's because we like it, or I like it and stuff like that. That's the reason why we do things. So, and also because Kavit asked me to help him and do it and stuff like that. But I've been into MF Doom and stuff like that. So that's what it is. We always design things or do things because that's what generally we like, we're into. So that's the reason why. Yeah. A lot
And
of
like
times.
whoever can connect with us on that kind of nostalgic factor, like that's the kind of stuff that we push out. Is like
Mhm.
if it's nostalgic and it hits home with us, like all that anime stuff that we like and all the hip hop artists that we like and stuff. That's how we know that like people are actually fucking with us when they
Yeah.
see the same kind of stuff and they're like, oh, we like that too. We'd be like, yeah, who would have known?
Yeah.
And then that's how we build a fan base around that.
Nice.
And I think that's the way to go too. Like have the fans come to you because that's how you know you get the real heads. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? You're not trying to like
exactly.
force
Right.
feed people, shoving your product down their throats. Because
Right.
I see that a lot in like the hip hop scene or like
Yeah,
rappers
yeah,
are
yeah.
always, or you know how like they'll fucking tag everybody. Yo, listen to my shit. Listen to my shit. Listen to my shit. Fuck, man.
Yeah,
Or
I don't,
even-
I don't
even-
want to be a forced brand.
Yeah,
even
yeah,
even
you
other
try to
brands
force it.
like Dre headphones, like the Beats headphones,
Yeah.
like that's been shoved down so many people's throats, and they're really not even that good.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Like so much has come out and shown that like, oh, these are just above average, just ever so slight. Like
Yeah.
here's where everything else is. This is like right here. But there's like if you really want good quality sound, you need to go with these brands over here. But they don't try and just shove their shit down your face.
Yeah.
But that's what I like. One thing that I guess I like about Beats headphone is that they did good branding. Like
Yeah,
their
their marketing
branding
Oh
was
yeah,
top notch.
they put
yeah.
it on everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like branding was top notch.
Didn't Apple buy it?
Yeah,
they
just
did-
recently.
they
Just
Yeah.
recently. Yeah. So yeah, like branding to me is like everything. Like if you don't know what you're
Well, in
trying
today's
to do,
age,
yeah,
yeah.
in today's age, like. But it's funny because like I see a lot of brands like they don't know what they're trying to do or what they're trying to achieve,
Yeah.
and they're just out there. You know what I mean?
They're just trying to achieve that kind of hype behind their brand when it's really
Yeah.
they're not standing for anything.
Right.
Yeah. So what exactly would make you a legit brand? Having a message
I mean,
associated with your brand.
well, I mean, everyone has a message, kind of.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
weird. I always read people's bio, like, "Hey, we're about this. We're about sun and life and whatever." You know what I mean? There's
Yeah,
some
yeah,
shit like
yeah.
that. I'm like, what are you getting into? You know what I mean? It gets all
Yeah.
like philosophical or whatever and stuff like that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, you know what I mean?
Doesn't
But-
have to be that deep.
Yeah,
you know?
but there's some times where like they make it like super deep, and I'm like, like what? I'm just wearing your shit because it looks cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
but hey, you can't just put that on a brand like, hey, wear my shit because it looks cool.
Yeah, yeah.
But you gotta make some cool story, you know what I mean, with it, whatever. But hey, if you make a cool story with it, and your brand, your shirts, whatever, relate to that story and everything like that, and you create a whole world in your brand,
Right.
and that's what I feel like good branding is. You know what I mean? You create this world that's in your brand and stuff like that. And so for us, like, if you look at our products and stuff like, there's a certain imagery to it. It's a little bit cartoony and stuff like that here and there. You know what I mean? Everything is designed for like a certain purpose. You know what I mean? It's not just like throwing random text here and there. The text we choose is certain text to convey like a imagery that we're trying to do. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So that's what I feel good branding is. You have to have everything like, what do you call that, like coincide with each other, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's got to match with each
It
other.
works together really
Yeah,
well.
it works together, yeah.
And that's where you get that pull factor of like people who want to fuck with you instead of like you trying to push everything out on them and see if they'll get it.
Right.
Because if they don't get it, like when you're trying to push it on them, then that just shows that people don't understand you, and that's how
Yeah.
you know you got a bad message. Like when people just don't understand what it is.
Right.
Sorry, I got distracted over there. Accidentally hung up on whoever was calling the call box. But
Uh-oh.
we're closed, guys.
We're closed.
We're closed right now.
Bring down
so
the mic a
we
little
have
bit
to-
more.
Oh, your mic?
They're
Yeah.
like, I wanted to order like
There we
100
go.
shirts, like 100 t-shirts. And it's like, oh, okay.
Never mind, cancel my 100 t-shirt order.
He's like, no, I really need it. I need it for Mother's Day.
It's our first live caller.
Should
Well, actually, our second live caller.
Yes, they're calling on the line.
Should we
Yeah,
answer
it's like,
that?
hey.
Caller
closed,
number
guys.
1.
We honestly said not to open it, so we don't
Okay.
have to open it.
Mute the phone then.
I don't know how to fucking do that. How do you-
Give it to me.
Such a
Just
distraction.
take out the battery. Some shit like that.
Okay. Did you mute it?
I'm trying to.
You answered it.
What's going on?
What's
That's
going
what I
on
did the
here?
first time.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
oh
answered
fuck!
it.
He's like hearing this shit going on.
Say, oh shit, what's going on up there?
Yeah.
There is no mute.
What would you say was like your guys' favorite shirt to do? Because I seen a lot. I seen like one that I liked was the Zelda one. I thought that was pretty
Oh, yeah?
tight. Because yeah, that hits home kind of hard. Because like that was one of the first games I got for my Super NES. Was Link to the Past.
Link to the past.
Link to the Past. Never beat it. Never beat it.
It's a
I'm-
shame
I'm-
though, 'cause that's
Just that
a good-
whole
such a good
though.
game.
Yeah, dude, that
Yeah.
whole game, like the whole Bible, fucking the Legend of Zelda series is pretty.
Hmm.
It's well. Thinking about it now, it's really like trippy. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
What's interesting about the Legend of Zelda T is like, I'm gonna seem like a fraud, but the Zelda T or the Link T itself is based off Wind Waker. The design kind of looks like Wind Waker because Wind Waker was my favorite and actually my first Zelda game that I played, which is kind of weird. Everyone would think like, hey, you played Ocarina of Time and all that, Majora's Mask. Those are the two ones you always go towards if you're a Zelda fan, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But to me, no, Wind Waker was the one I beat all by myself. No, you know what I mean? Like no help, nothing. And
I didn't play Wind Waker for a long time because like I didn't get a GameCube right away.
Yeah.
I was still really into my PS2 at the time.
right.
And then I remember when I was in the Marines, at one point, I had already just saved up a bunch of money just because I wasn't spending on anything. And then like the Wii had like just come out, so GameCubes were ridiculously cheap, and I went and bought one for $50
Yeah.
and got Wind Waker, and then spent like 3 days just playing Wind Waker.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is about Wind Waker. I like the cartoony art style and stuff like that. But a lot of people hated it.
The cell shading,
time.
yeah.
the cell
Oh,
shading. But
yeah.
I love that. And then
Yeah, no, it was great.
yeah, and it still holds up till today. Like you know what I mean. And the Ocarina of Time and stuff like that, they don't really hold up till today.
I
Like the
think
graphics,
Majora's
wise,
Mask
still
like
holds up.
They still
graphic
do.
wise, like
Yeah, they do. Well, I mean,
kinda.
a little bit
Oh,
here
yeah.
and there. Like, what
Kinda.
doesn't really hold up is, for me at least, was the controls of the N64, and that's only because I
Right.
haven't touched the controls of the N64 in so long. But I played.
Right.
Granted, they updated the graphics a little bit when they redid both Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time
Yeah,
on the 3DS.
Right.
But the gameplay itself still holds up really
Sure.
well.
But yeah. So going back to the question, that Zelda one is pretty much like the reason why it's the Wind Waker version because it's what I like and stuff like that. So I guess favorite T-shirt to do or I don't know. Or what is your favorite? I gotta think about this one.
What's
before
like
I
the
get
most
into it.
popular?
My
What
favorite
your
would have been the Titan. The
Oh yeah,
Titan
you
one.
like the Titan one?
Yeah, because I use that
Uh-huh.
too. That one was just because like
The Attack on Titan T-shirt. We're talking
yeah,
about,
Attack on Titan
fucking
was
love
like
that shirt.
Yeah.
that thing caught on to me so quick. Like I never thought I'd be like so into an anime really quick. Because then they were telling me like before we did our first Kawaii Con,
Yeah.
they tried to tell me like, oh, we gotta bulk up on anime. I was like, okay, what's the good anime right now? I said Attack on Titan. It was like, okay,
Mhm.
but I'll give it a chance. First episode, I was hooked, and then like you clear that one season in like 1 week, and like you just know everything about it. Like man, Attack on Titan was so dope.
Watched everything in one day.
You
That's
did?
how hooked I was. Yeah.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super good. And then so yeah, and then we did that shirt, and I was like, I was so hyped. Like the design came out so nice, and then like
Right.
when we had the release, like that was like that release that we had
Yeah.
right there. That was like a really good moment too of us, because then like I don't know, we were just that was when we were like kind of running dry with like a lot of stuff, and then
Yeah, that it was weird because out of all the shirts we did, we never topped that one for some reason in terms of like sales wise, and I don't know. It's weird because like that shirt when I decided to print it, it was actually just a throwaway kind of like hey, let's just add this in and see how it goes.
Yeah.
And then that became the best selling tee out of all of the tees we ever did. It was weird. I mean, I don't know if maybe it was because it was trending at the time and stuff like that, but literally like when we threw it into the season, it was just a throwaway. Like the main thing in that season was the Hypebeast collection, where we were just picking apart like Hypebeast stuff, like what's going on there. That's why we did the kind of black scale parody we
Yeah, I see
did,
that one.
like the Pharrell one and
the JDM
the
one.
JDM one and stuff like that. That was kind of playing off Pink Dolphin and stuff like that. So that was the main focus, was that collection. But then we threw in the Titan one in there just because like, hey, this design looks really cool. Like when Kichi, Can of Shark, our graphic designer, first designed it, she showed it to me. I was like, dude, I gotta put this on a shirt like right away because it was so cool. Like when I first saw it. So that's the reason why.
It probably has like big crossover, just like the Venn diagram of popularity.
Yeah.
Probably had like big crossover because Attack on Titan is so popular with so many people.
Right.
And so what happened was like these people who came originally for this thing,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, look at this too, and they told all their Attack on Titan friends, and all the Attack on
Yeah.
Titan friends did that, and
Yeah.
it just
Especially when
has
they
this
put it on
giant
Netflix,
crossover.
man. Because
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
you couldn't watch it on
Oh, yeah.
Netflix, and then
Right.
once it was on Netflix, like I watched it on
did.
Crunchyroll.
It
But once
blew
it got
up.
on Netflix, everybody was like talking about it. Even like my coworkers, like
That's
Attack
true.
on Titan. Yeah.
That's when I feel like it kind of got mainstream.
Yeah, I got
in a
Yeah.
sense,
super
yeah.
mainstream really quick.
Yeah. But it's cool though because we never got that kind of mainstream anime for a while. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's been a while since we have like an anime that everyone kind of knows about. You know what I mean? Even people that like generally don't usually watch anime, they already saw Attack on Titan because like it was like the hype shit.
Yeah, that's true. Like, when's the last time like an anime
Was
was
that-
like that? You know,
that
everybody was
mainstream,
related to
right?
it. Like I was
Yeah.
thinking,
Probably would've been
Like
like-
DBZ.
Yeah,
DBZ,
yeah, like,
comes
like
to
the first
mind.
one I
yeah,
thought of.
DBZ status almost. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Inuyasha got really big for a while, but even
Right.
that never really got like the popularity
Yeah.
that like DBZ and Attack
Yeah.
on Titan
Yeah, yeah.
got.
it's weird. And I guess that's why too it kind of helped the Attack on Titan shirt to sell well. I guess
It's hard to tell why anything works and why something doesn't. Like, it just, some things catch and some things don't. That's why it's like really weird when these big businesses come to various popular artists and they're like, oh, we want to make a viral video. And it's like, well, you can't just like
video.
make a viral video.
That's true. Yeah, there's people
like, it's a perfect storm of things come together and make something go viral.
Yeah, something just becomes viral. You can't make something viral from the start. Like.
Yeah. And I get I don't know. Well, my favorite shirt, it's hard to say because I like all of them. So.
They're all your children.
Yeah, I mean, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? So,
that sample, the girls one.
The sample?
The unreleased. Oh no, you did release that. Remember that girl design?
Oh my god, no. No, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. That's from the brand that was not Crappy Kids but still had poop on it. So I guess the Totoro one would be my favorite. A lot of people still demand it till this day. Yeah. And we do have plans to bring it back, redesigned and everything. Because it is so popular. It's really funny how.
Do you guys just print shirts, or do you what all do you print on? Like, do you do?
We do a lot of T-shirts. We did hats and stuff like that. Just this year, we're trying to get into working with other people. Mm-hmm. Like recently, we worked with Chris CV Illustrations, where he did a print for us, and we started selling that print. We signed and numbered it to like 25. And we sold that print for him and stuff like that. We sell at our events. And
I see you guys got like stickers and stuff like that.
Yeah, we do. Another interesting too is these stickers, these little 2x2s. Somehow became collectible throughout the years. Like this guy right here, the Totoro one.
Is that Donald Glover?
Yeah.
Yo, so, dude, check this out. Because Ben's a
no
big fan of fucking
Talkin. Awesome, dude.
We did a Gambino one.
I kind of want that now. That's so fucking badass.
We don't got it anymore. I gotta try to get you. I'll try to get you one, but we're totally out.
A lot of people
that.
in our crew is super into Gambino.
Like,
so
the thing is, like, I've been following Donald Glover since Derek Comedy.
Derek Comedy.
Yeah, they had some of, like, back when YouTube was first getting popular and whatnot. They were one of the first like sketch groups to be like, oh, you know what? We're not gonna, put random videos. Like, we have this video platform. Let's just make our own little shorts and put it. They were one of the first to do that, like written sketches and whatnot. Yeah. And they were so goddamn hilarious. Like, all the guys from Derek Comedy are really funny. And then Donald Glover really kind of exploded with Community. And then using that success, he was able to go pursue Childish Gambino a lot more. And now he's like, there's talk of him maybe going back doing some more comedy. Because like, there's so much there. Like, he's such an incredible artist all around. Yeah. Like, I'm excited about Magic Mike 2 just because Donald Glover's. Well, I'm excited about Magic Mike 2 because Magic Mike 1 was fucking amazing, but Donald Glover is gonna be in it, and it makes me even more excited.
Wait,
now.
He's in it?
Yeah.
Damn, what?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's part of the crew that's going to the competition.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be so good.
He has like a starring role now.
Yeah.
Because the other movies he was in, like, the last one was like Lazarus Effect. He was just that black guy in the horror movie, and the other one in Disney, he was just like, he was like the, I don't know, someone posse or whatever.
Yeah, no, he's one of the main characters in this one. That's what's up. And it's just looking phenomenal. Like, he posted a few weeks back a picture of him kind of mid dance move, and it had the XXL on it, and I was like, oh my god, he's gonna be in Magic Mike. This is gonna be fucking crazy. It's like, I hadn't heard anything about him being in it or anything like that.
So he's a dancer.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's perfect, man. He can dance.
That is hilarious.
Oh yeah, dude, it's gonna be fucking crazy cool.
I did not know he was in it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if he does a song for the movie.
Oh, for real?
That'd be trippy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, he's been so off right now. I started just digging back because I just got a Hulu account, so I've been digging back to his Community stuff and watching him as Troy Barnes. Like, oh man, it's super hilarious. I was like, man, I gotta get my dose of Gambino somehow because he's not putting out any music anymore that much, and he's just been acting, but it's been like on the low.
You should watch the Derek Comedy movie.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go back to that.
Mystery Mystery Team?
Mystery Team. Yeah,
it was so fucking funny, dude.
I remember that.
It is hilarious. I remember, like, when they first announced Mystery Team, I was so broke I couldn't buy it. And then, like, maybe 2 years ago is when I started to get money. I started to, like, have a legit job that, like, I had money to throw around and whatnot. And then I was like, oh, one of the first things I went and bought off, like, Amazon or wherever it was I bought, I was like, Mystery Team, bought. Boom. Now I have it.
Nice.
So good. It was so much fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Going back to the branding stuff,
yeah.
Okay, in Hawaii, I noticed that a lot of people seem to, or a lot of, like, just clothing brands can be popping up left and right, and some of it like I don't know. I don't see too much like content within them, and I think I seen. I don't know if it was you or somebody else. I was watching tweet about like Moke brands or something.
Oh, that was me.
That was you.
Yeah, on my Twitter, I get real. Like, I don't care because no one's really following me on Twitter, but I say like the real shit on there sometimes. I'm like, what I mean, you know what I mean? So
that's what it's for.
I don't do that on Instagram because a lot of people follow us and stuff like that. But on Twitter, like barely people follow. It's weird. Hawaii doesn't like Twitter. I don't know. Like a lot of people in Hawaii.
I like Twitter.
Yeah, no, I don't know. A lot of people in Hawaii don't go, or they don't have a Twitter account and stuff like that. But the mainland is like it's all about Twitter and shit like that.
Yeah.
But in Hawaii, it's weird. Like they don't like Twitter. So, I ranted about that. Like, we're here because we want to reduce the amount of mokeware brands in Hawaii. Technically, you know what I mean? I mean, I don't hate on the people. You know what I mean? I always tell people like, hey, if that's your dream, go ahead and do it. You know what I mean? You never know if it's gonna work. You know what I mean? At the same time, but let's have some originality. That's all I'm trying to say. You know what I mean?
No, let's not just put like fucking Rasta colors and a marijuana leaf
because
on our
like
shirts.
Because like what's
preventing your brand from separating yourself from the brand that already did it better than you? You know what I mean? So like you want to make a brand, but at the same time be original. You know what I mean? You can still do a mokeware brand, but like add something original to it. You know what I mean? Just don't make the same kind of design that says Aloha or whatever, stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'm not hating directly on those brands, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Let's get some originality in here and stuff like that.
That market's already saturated, so you have to find a way to stand out from that. Like, but if you're not really making an attempt, you're just trying to like do what everyone else is doing.
At that point, you're just selling to your friends.
Yeah. And so another thing I want to kind of bring up, it's like branding or like making a brand kind of became the new starting a rock band kind of like, you know what I mean? Like everyone wants to be or have their own brand. And I think it started because of like how Tyler the Creator is and stuff like that. They have their own brand and that goes in with their whole crew. So it's kind of like you have a brand and you have a crew kind of. Yeah. So, I mean, that's how we kind of started too. But at the same time, it's like, don't just make a, like, I have a lot of times where people come up to me like, hey, I have this cool t-shirt idea, and it's always based off a slogan for some reason. It's always like, hey, yeah, I have this cool saying, and then like I'm gonna make that into a t-shirt brand, and that's all they have is just a slogan. I'm like
what kind of slogans would you give?
Like, I don't want to put them on blast.
Like that would totally like call someone out.
Well, I'm pretty sure this guy gave up on his dream. But there was one where it's like, he's like, yeah, man, I have this thing. It's called like Dreams Come True. And then I'm like, why is it Dreams Come True? He's like, yeah, like Dreams Come True. Like that, I'm gonna start my whole brand. It's like it's gonna be called that. And I'm like, okay, in my head, I'm like, yeah, that's cool, whatever. But I'm like, like, what is this brand? Why does it exist? Like, why do you need it to exist? That's one of the things like I always like to point out to people. It's like, make sure when you create something, it has a purpose. You know what I mean? You don't want to.
What do you have that's gonna be put forward by this brand?
Like, why are they gonna remember you? Because dreams come true? I don't know. Like, that's what it was, though. I'm like, and then I get a lot of that. People just want to create. I mean, that's cool. We're all creative. We want to create things, but I feel always have a purpose. You know what I mean?
I feel like that's the equivalent of like, when Drake comes out with a new album, and on Twitter you see a bunch of people just quoting Drake lyrics. It's that whole thing too. Oh that's he said something kind of deep and clever, and it rhymes. So let's throw it on.
Running through a six with my woes.
Just make it into a Tumblr post, put it over.
And then people don't
put like a fucking like an image of like a like a beautiful landscape, like a sunset or like falling leaves.
I hated how he made that whole running through the six with my woes, and people thought woes meant like your crew. It's like that's not what it means, but people are using it like, hey, I'm with my woes and stuff like that. I'm like,
what does it mean? Because when I saw that, I was like, wait, doesn't he know Aaron?
It's just like he's running through the city with his problems, right?
No, it's not. Right? Woes is his crew.
Oh, that's what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I'm wrong. I'm totally wrong.
What he was going for makes so much more sense.
Yeah,
that's what running against things that are trying to kill you.
Yeah,
that makes so much more sense and is so much more. Yeah, that makes so much. That's such a deeper saying than just like I'm hanging out with my dog.
That's why it's a double entendre kind of thing. But I feel like woes is working on excellence, which is his crew.
Okay. But I feel like I feel like that. Yeah, but he did mean it also to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
like that,
as
right?
like-
Yeah.
yeah.
So in a sense, people started using it in terms of that's their crew, but that's his crew. You know what I mean? You can't.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can't use the word woes like that. So
Oh yeah, then
That's
if
what
they're
happened.
not wolves, then whatever.
yeah.
Dude, so like you guys, I don't know how much you guys know about. Like I'm gonna get all science now. This is why I'm science bent.
Science
Do you guys know what memetics is?
No, tell me about it.
Okay.
Science, bro.
Holy crap! what
I'm
is that?
interested.
So so memetics is the study of memes, and what a lot of people think a
that's
meme
a thing?
is like a graphic with some words on it. Whatever, that's not what a meme is.
That's not
No,
exactly
No,
what it is.
a
Yeah.
meme is a thought, an idea. Like
Yeah.
to break it down specifically, without like using something else to describe it, it's a unit of cultural information transfer. In the,
The
same,
first.
Oh, right.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I just recalled the first time I ever heard the word meme was when Hideo Kojima was describing one of his Metal Gear Solid games. 'Cause
Yes.
a meme was one of the central themes of one of his games, right?
memes first came about in 76. I want to say it's whenever it came out in a book written by Richard Dawkins called The Selfish Gene, where he was talking about genetics and the current school of thought on how evolution works.
Yeah.
And what he put forth, and I want to say it was like chapter 8 or chapter 9, was memes, or the idea that a thought or an idea or a symbol or whatever can act in the same way that genes do, where they aren't conscious, but they act in manners which makes them want to get reproduced. And the way a meme gets reproduced is by spreading to other people's brains.
Right.
And so now they're thinking about this thing, and then it makes them want to talk about it, and it gets spread to more and more people.
Right.
Right.
And so you when you think about like branding and you think about anything really, like you have to start thinking much more in the terms of how the meme works. Memes sometimes work together to get themselves spread, and they're called meme complexes. Like religion is a giant meme complex. It's a bunch of ideas that have been put together, and they influence the way someone thinks so that they get spread. And sometimes, just like in genetic evolution, memes change over time too. So like when like the wolf thing, it started off where he's talking about his crew, and a lot of people didn't get that, but it got
Yeah.
transmitted anyway, and so the transmission, there was an error and it was mutated, and now it just means like, oh, it's just my friends, it's a pack of friends kind of thing, and it changes more and more as it goes along.
True.
And so and this is the thing too, this is what kind of stuns me about like memetics is one of the most interesting topics I've ever come across. And what stuns me is there's so many people out there who have no idea about it, like, but the thing is it's literally pretty much exactly how our and it's there's no way to really test it because we can't like define a meme. We can't like take a microscope out and see like, oh, look at this, I found a meme.
Yeah.
But it's the theories that have been put out, and they've done tests with it and whatnot, cultural tests where they put an idea out there and see how it spreads, see how it mutates and whatnot, and it really does define how we think.
Yeah.
Very specifically too, and it's the closest thing that we've come to, like very accurately defining our thought processes, and it's really cool. Like here's one that. This is one of the meme experiments that happened a while back, and it spread like crazy. Have you guys ever heard of the game? I lost the game.
Oh,
shit,
I just lost the game.
Exactly. See, two out of 4 of us just said I lost the game. So the game.
Why'd you
as far-
remind me of it, man? What the-
Exactly. So the game was started like, and this may have like this thing is like where I got introduced to it was back in 2007 on 4chan.org.
Yeah, right.
And the way it was kind of brought up was like, oh, we're gonna make a meme and see where it goes.
Wait, what are you?
And
what's
so-
the game?
Okay, so
What are you talking about?
Everyone is directly playing the game.
okay, so here's how it works. Here's how it works. There was when we did it, someone made a picture, a little graphic and whatnot,
Then
and
you hated that person.
Oh, no, it was great because the whole thread when it came out was we were just sitting there contributing ideas and talking about how to do this,
Right.
and we made this experiment. And so like the way it originally came out, let me see if I can remember the lines, but it was like you are now playing the game. You cannot win the game. You can only lose the game. You lose the game whenever you think about the game. Once you've lost the game, you have to say out loud, I lost the game. At which point you have 30 minutes to think about the game without losing the game. Oh, fuck. See, and then I forgot where it goes after that. And then it says, you have 30 minutes to think about the game without losing the game.
That's pretty.
The point, and then it says the point of the game is to get everyone in the world playing the game.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to the game.
Welcome to the.
And so
So now you're playing
like,
the game.
I remember sitting there like when we had discussions about like what the rules should be, And so like we found out basically what it is that's going to get people hooked, and it's this idea of playing the game.
Oh, you was in there when it
Yeah,
started?
I want to say like it might not have been the original thread,
Right.
but like I remember having part of that discussion, and we were talking like one of the things that came up was like the memetics of the game was like how when we how do we get people to spread it, and they're like, okay, well the last rule there is the point of the game is to get everyone in the world playing the game, and so that causes people to go tell about the game.
Go tell them about it.
And for the longest time, for like 2-3 years, the only time that I ever lost the game was when I was on 4chan and I would see a game thread get posted up, and everyone's like, "Oh, I lost the game," and so on and so forth. And then like 2 years later, like after like I had kind of left 4chan for a little while, I'm in the Marines at the time, and suddenly like every Marine I know knows what the fuck the game is, and it's everywhere. People who don't even know what 4chan is talking about it. And then now I get back to Hawaii. I've been out of the Marines for several years, and I compete 2 people that I've never met ever in my life. I go, the game. They're like, I lost the game.
Fucking on. Yes, dude. Yeah. I've
That's
never lost
memetics.
for a long time. And
Exactly. That's memetics in action right there. And so when you understand how when you get a better understanding of how the mind works and whatnot, I think that it really influences like advertisers when they want to try and get their product out there, brand makers and stuff like that. When you want to do these kind of things, like one of the most important things to understand is how the mind works and what's going to cause your brand to be prolific.
Yeah.
So
Right.
why not go studying memetics?
Yeah.
I just got to get my memetic stock in. Yay!
No, that's a really
super
interesting,
thought provoking, man. Like,
Yeah, it's really fun. There's several books out there, but it's still like an unheard of thing. Like, and granted, it's one of the newest fields of science for sure,
That's
because
true.
like the idea of a meme didn't even get introduced until like I said 76 or 77 or something like that when the Selfish Gene came out. And since then, like 10 years after that, there was the world scientists kind of come together for like a world meeting kind of thing. And during that meeting, one of the issues they talked about was making memetics an official field of science. So like it's only been an official field of science for like 30 years now.
that's dope.
It's one of the newest, and it's becoming quickly amongst the science field like the best understanding we have of how, like, then this is a philosophical understanding of how our minds work.
Yeah.
Versus like a much more like practical application version of how our minds work, like with electrical signal and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
It's really cool and interesting stuff.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking about the game, so I guess I just lost the game.
No, you have 30
Yeah.
minutes
Yeah,
to think
30
about the game
minutes.
without losing the game.
What happened?
You have 30 minutes to think about the game without losing the game.
30
Yeah.
minutes.
See, no, here's more memetics for you, okay? So we just did that whole thing for him, but the transmission wasn't perfect. So the error that he got was that the part that didn't stick with him was the meme of you have 30 minutes to lose the game.
That grace period.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have the 30-minute grace period. So if we didn't say anything and we all just split right now, and that meme stuck a little bit harder, he would just be like, I lost the game constantly, and he would forget about this. It has 30 minutes to go and forget
Right.
about the game kind of thing.
Right.
And realistically, like this is just me spitballing here, but like realistically, if someone doesn't have that 30 minutes to forget about it, they would just be thinking like, well, I'm
Like-
going to be losing the game constantly.
Yeah,
This
like
is
the game,
stupid.
the game,
And then
yeah.
the whole meme complex dies.
Just, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you gotta forget about it. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what makes it fun is you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I forgot about this thing. And then suddenly it pops back or something
Yeah,
reminds you. And you're
then
like, oh,
you're
I
like-
lost the game.
Yeah.
It could be like the weirdest stuff to remind you of the game too. It's like
Yeah.
you're just sitting down sometime and then it's
Holy,
like,
because
all
when
the
you
game.
brought that up, I was like, holy shit, I totally forgot about
Yeah,
that.
Exactly.
I haven't lost the game
And then
since
I
like,
fucking lost.
at high
And see,
school.
and so this is another thing too, is like more than likely, it was very involuntary that you guys got that meme introduced into your system.
Yeah.
So like your meme lexicon there is like this meme was just kind of shoved in on you.
It
But the
is.
thing is the way that this meme complex is designed is it hooks in there.
Yeah.
And so you're part of your mind, whether you know it or not, is taken up with this idea of the game. And this is a really small thing because it's not a big meme complex like religion is.
Yeah.
But that's holding space in your mind that could be used for something else. And the thing is, it was designed so well that
Yeah.
literally you're never going to get rid of it now.
Yeah.
Even if you stop saying I lost the game and whatnot, something will at some point
Yeah,
will
that's
remind
gonna-
you about
it's
the
gonna
game.
remind
So
you.
it is forever stuck in there, and you may or may not spread it. But that's the thing is like this is now a part of who you are mentally, and it's really crazy that memes have that kind of control over us. And so part of the study of memetics is understanding how memes work and how they control us, and then trying to be very careful with what memes you accept and what memes you don't, so that way you're not run by your memes. Instead, you're more running your memes.
Yeah.
Right.
You're choosing like, okay, I like this meme of skepticism, and looking at something objectively and understanding what it really means versus like what I'm interpreting it to mean.
Yeah.
And so that gives me a better option of how to understand the world when I'm viewing it through that lens. And like, I like that meme, so I'm going to stick with that meme. I don't like the meme of, oh, this makes me angry, so I'm just going to reject it. It's like, okay, no, that's a horrible way to do things, because you could end up rejecting something without ever knowing anything about it.
Yeah.
Like, that's a bad meme, and I actively choose not to follow that meme. I don't let my memes control me because I have an understanding of memetics.
It's like a forced meme.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like everything has to be taken in like in good rational sense.
Yeah, you have to think about how this thought or this idea that you have is going to affect not just the way you think, but like the way you interact with everything.
Right.
Because we don't have very full control over the way we think.
Yeah.
So many people react off of their emotional reactions to things, that they don't sit down and think like, okay, well, why did this make me sad, or why am I happy because of this thing going on? They're just like, oh, I'm happy, let's do that again. And then I think that's part of the downfall with not everybody, because some people have like genetic addictions to things and whatnot, but there's some people who like just get into like drugs and alcohol and whatnot just because it's like, oh, it makes me feel good, so fuck it.
Yeah.
And they don't think about like, okay, this and that. And like, I still love doing drugs, but part of the reason that I do drugs is because it allows me to think about things in a different way that I didn't think about before.
Right.
And I do it, and it's kind of a science aspect that I take to my drug intake.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
That was a nice tangent off of branding, right?
And yet it's still about branding. That's the whole thing.
Yeah,
like that's the underlying cause of all branding is memetics.
Yeah.
So how do you guys like try to capitalize on that? Like, you know, with the advent of the internet and how we're all connected every day, like how we were talking about earlier with smartphones and stuff, like how do you guys try to take advantage of that connectivity with pretty much everybody else?
Of course, that ambulance had to go right by us.
Maybe we just have
Oh,
one.
there it is.
Oh, it's going the other way.
There we go.
It came that way. Then now it's going the other way.
Yeah. Oh, that was a while
It
ago.
throws you off because you have the headphones on, so you're like, I can't tell
It's like,
which
where
direction
is
this is coming from.
Where is it?
Yeah. Like with your brand.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. Yeah.
So what was it again? Sorry, going back to.
Talk about like how do you use the internet? Because I know, like, especially I think
Because
especially for you guys, you know, it's a very like internet based culture nowadays.
It is. I mean, at this point, it's like anyone can start a brand, or anyone can start being a artist, being a, you know what I mean? The way social media started, I mean, like the way it is now, it's like you're a brand yourself already at this point. You know what I mean? If you have a social media account or whatever, you're already branding yourself from the start already. People are going to view you based on what you show them on Instagram, on Facebook, Twitter, like that. So, which is a funny story too, because like that's how people view our brand, is what they see, right? So we had this one story where this one dude was like, our friend was chilling at like the what do you call that? Like the break rooms or whatever.
The nerd cave.
Yeah. Okay. He calls it a nerd cave, I guess, whatever. And apparently he was looking at our website, and this dude came up to him, kind of like looked at what he was looking. Apparently that's a thing you do over there, is like you look at other people's screen and see what they're looking at. You know, like, hey, you looking at porn or something? You know what I mean? Something like that. So he looked at our friend's screen. He's like, then he saw he was on our webpage. He's like, oh, then he told him like, oh, crappy kids. Oh, they're not otakus and stuff like that. Like, and then we're like, what? like we kind of took offense to it. We're like,
disrespect.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, because maybe what you see on our Instagram is maybe we're trying to convey that we're cool people or whatever, stuff like that. But at the same time, we're like, no, we're totally into like watching anime and stuff like that. But it's like the way social media works is like, you know what I mean? People only view you as what they see, kind of thing. And so like I said, from the get-go, if you do have a social media account, you're kind of like, you have this job to uphold your image on there. So it's a good and bad thing, you know what I mean? Like there's a trade-off. Like you can portray yourself as this person that you're not actually, you really aren't that person, or you could be true to yourself and just be like, hey, this is what I actually am, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So using social media, like I tend to like use it a lot to get our brand out there, and I try not to just force it on people, you know. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do to kind of force your brand on people and yourself on people, like, you know, using hashtags, tagging people, follow for follow, like for like, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things you can do, but I don't want people liking our brand that way, because I want it to be more, what do you call that? Like, more natural, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, I want them to like us because they do like us, not because I force them to like us. Like, hey, I follow your page, follow me back. You know what I mean? And there's strategies like that. You know what I mean? There's people that, like, they go on your page, follow all of your friends, and then hopefully they'll follow back, because it's a rule that you have to follow back if they followed.
Yeah, that was a really weird thing that kind of came about. It was like, for some reason, like there was a study done a while back when Twitter was first exploding. It was like, oh, you know, you can make a brand and do all this stuff by having, like, you can start advertising and whatnot through if you have this many followers. And so instead of like putting your ideas out there, it became just get as many followers as you can, and then you can maybe turn it into something that makes you money. And so that's just it created this meme of just follow me back. I'll follow you, you follow me.
And then what's interesting too is how people take offense to if you unfollow them. It's like, you know, like, we were technically never really friends, but if I unfollowed you, you'd be like, why did you unfollow me? Like, you know what I mean? It's weird how that happens too. Like, people take offense to that.
Because you were posting really crazy shit. I don't want to see that.
It's like, maybe I just don't want to see it on my feed anymore, but people feel like we're not friends anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's some weird thing like that. I'm like, that's what social media does to us. There's this whole insecurity, I guess, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I need to have so-and-so following me, or I need to have so-and-so noticing me, or whatever.
That just shows the effect of, like, how much, like, you put personally into the relationship of what you have with your social media pages. Like, you take things to
your
heart.
image, you know. You put a lot of work into your image and stuff like that.
And you just take offense, you just get all defensive.
And that's the thing too, is like, I think most people don't put in that much work to it. They're just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
And so because it's them, instead of like the image that they're putting forward, they're not thinking about it like that. They're thinking, oh, this is just me. And so when someone rejects them, quote unquote, by like unfollowing them or not liking a post or something like that, they take offense of it, because they're not like face to face with you. They're not like when a comedian does a joke and like it doesn't get a laugh, we're not gonna just get offended like, okay, that didn't work, kind of thing. We're gonna go try this new thing. But like when someone who doesn't understand when you're just hanging out with your friends and you tell a joke and no one laughs at it, you're like, well, fuck you guys, that was funny, and you're like, get all defensive about it, because you're putting yourself out there.
So I don't know, is social media it's like a good and bad thing, you know. You can really get yourself out there if you want to. The venue's there.
Well, it's incredible if you have like an education about it and you think about it on a higher level, but when it's just given out to everyone who I'm assuming most people don't really care to like actually get into why something is working. They're just like blah 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 blah, smashing my head against the keyboard.
Yes.
And then like they don't understand this like give and take. Yeah, exactly. It's like they don't understand this give and take about it.
Yeah.
They don't understand that like this is a tool. This isn't you. This is a tool for you to express yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
And so like it really kind of blurs these lines.
Yeah, that's why. So there's a good and bad to it, because there's people that never had a voice before, and now you have a voice. And then there's people that take advantage of it. They're just like, hey, let me just put stuff out. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah,
and stuff like that. So.
And they also it changes the way we interact with each other too, because it's a type of anonymity where your name is on it, but like that might not be your real name. Like my name on Twitter is TripHas808. Right. And unless you know that that's me, you have no idea that's me.
Yeah.
And so I could very easily just go out and just like bash Kim Kardashian or something like that or whatever.
Yeah.
And like the thing is like, this is all stuff that like if I ever saw her in real life, I would never say like, oh, you should go shove your head so far up your cunt you can't breathe.
Yeah.
Like I'd never say that to her face, but like anonymously
you should
online,
if you have the chance. You should.
Yeah, I probably should. But like that's the thing is like, I can do that to anybody, and like, and they don't know that it's me, and so like there's this like a subliminal layer of protection between me and whoever I'm talking to.
Yeah.
And whenever that gets broken, because like the way our minds are designed and evolutionarily, like the way they got brought up was through interaction, like physical interaction through other people. And so when we have when you have that barrier there and it gets broken, we suddenly feel this huge like, oh shit, something's wrong, and I don't understand why.
And then that's like a whole different topic about like bullying too.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff like that. Yeah. How like you can just say whatever you want and there's no filter. Like You know what I mean? And it's not regulated or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's what it's kind of scary about it too. Like you can just hurt people's feelings, and it's like, hey, you know, I wasn't there to see you. You know
Oh
what
yeah, I
mean?
mean,
So-
there's news reports now of kids going and committing suicide
yeah,
because they get
because of what
bullied on
Cyberbullying
Facebook and
and stuff,
whatnot.
right, right.
So yeah, it's really crazy because the technology is progressing way faster than we can progress like the way we think
Right.
Yeah,
about the technology.
right.
Yeah, it's a pretty sensitive medium because it's like a lot of people, if they don't know how to communicate like well face to face, they think that, oh, if I can't do it face to face, then maybe I can like have better communication online. So then they try to put up maybe like a different kind of persona online, and then let's say that's like their preferred way of communication, but they're just not good at like regular social face to face interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you know, and that comes like with the whole insecurity play. It's like maybe if they're not good enough to communicate face to face, and they have to resort to like online stuff, but they're not good at that, then they just become insecure on like two waves of communicating.
You're right.
Yeah, and like you said, there's good and bad to it because there's some people who like come into their own through an online space too.
Right, and they're like good
there's
at
so
that.
many people who like if you talk to them personally, they're like very introverted and whatnot,
Yeah.
but like they'll get online and just post video after video on YouTube, and they have this giant following because they're not talking to someone personally. They're just talking to this camera,
Yeah.
and people are getting to view it, and so like they have like this whole new renewed kind of online life through
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's virtual worlds out there. Like I don't know. I don't know if you guys have heard about it or seen it, but there's a game called Life 2.0, and it's
Yeah.
it's basically like living in the
Like,
regular world.
Is
There's
that
a
like Second
documentary-
Life? Like
Second Life. That's what I meant. Second
yeah,
Life. But there's a documentary on Second Life, and like these people have like made businesses out of it because
Yeah.
they're not very social person, but they'll go on their computer, create an avatar that looks how they want to look, give it a name and whatnot, and go out. There's people that have gotten married through it. There's people who have have ended
Yeah.
marriages because of something that they have on Second Life.
Yeah.
There's people with like their own business, and they just like they make stuff in the game. They make like shoes and clothes in the game. They sell it to other players, and that's how they make their money in the
Yeah.
real world.
Yeah.
Being that invested into a fucking game, though, do you feel like that is that healthy or detrimental?
Well, that's
to
the thing
society,
is that's the
you
thing
know?
is it's not a game to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like how they wanted to live life, or you know what I mean. It's like life,
Yeah.
whatever they are living now is like it's not enough
Yeah.
to what they want to. You know, it doesn't make maybe it doesn't make them happy or whatever and stuff like that. So
And that's the thing too
They
is
do
like
these things.
yeah like he was saying, like they might have had a very like a non-satisfactory life in real life,
Yeah.
but then they can go on this virtual space and live exactly like they want and be happy, and,
Yeah.
and their quality of life goes up because they have it. And then
Yeah.
there's other people who go on there and just nope, this isn't for me, whatever, I'm just going to go back to real life kind
To
of
the
thing.
real world,
Yeah.
human interaction and
Yeah.
whatever, you know. So.
But like ethically, if you were like to promote that like people can just put off their responsibilities in one life and just focus on the other one, do you think that's like? I don't think that's worth it. Cause
You'd
then,
have
like,
to have
Well,
a
that's the thing is
balance,
that's the thing is
Well-
like the people who have like their online store, well, that's how they make their
Yeah.
living. They pay their
You
rent
know,
because
that
they're
is-
designing things in game that other
Yeah.
people will pay money for.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not like
so
they're like
it's-
regular functioning people. They're not like unhinged or anything. I guess you know.
Yeah.
Mostly, no, yeah.
Mostly.
You know, it's just that for them, it's more, what's the word now? It's just more acceptable for them to do everything through an online space and not have physical interaction with some
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
They're more comfortable in
Yeah.
that life and than in like the real physical world. I guess.
Exactly.
You're right.
Have you guys ever been invested in something like into like a video game like that much where it almost becomes like a second life to you?
What, RuneScape?
I never played RuneScape.
Oh, you never played RuneScape? Yeah, man, seventh
I got into
grade.
RuneScape too for a while.
I was like, I
Seventh,
killed a
eighth
few
grade.
rats and I was like, nah, it's not for me.
Warframe has taken over a lot of my stuff. Like
know,
until
man,
I
that's
have,
all you fucking talk about.
until I had,
I'm still not into it. I've tried it several times.
because again, you haven't gone and
Apparently,
played
I have
with
to like
us.
What
get in
was
a
it?
party
What
with
is it
them.
called?
Warframe.
Warframe.
It's a free to play game. It's on PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
PC, yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
It's really fun. It's your standard MMO,
Mm-hmm.
but it's done with
It's basically a third-person
Yeah.
Destiny with ninjas.
Is everybody on the same server, like PC connected
no,
with?
yeah, they still haven't figured out because the
damn.
coding is so different. They're not really able to do
Yeah,
that.
the one day when some MMO does that, damn. it's
Platform
gonna
and
be like the
PC.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be like the
I
shit.
think
Yeah.
I want to say like I know when because Xbox, a lot of people don't realize this, but the X and Xbox is DirectX, which is
Yeah.
Yeah.
Microsoft's gaming
DirectX, yeah.
engine or gaming platform, if you will.
Right.
And so like I remember when Xbox was first coming out, they were like, yeah, we're gonna try and do PC and Xbox
Cross-platform,
crossover. And just the thing is, even though they're still running on the same basic platform, the ability to cross over the coding just isn't there. Like it takes so much.
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Damn.
Apparently it can be done though, because I think the new Street Fighter coming out on PS4 is going to be able to play against like PC.
Yeah,
No,
sure, yeah.
the way it was explained to me was like they're gonna aggregate scores and like ranking across all platforms. Like you're not gonna be able to fight someone on another thing.
Okay, then that's
That,
different.
at least that's the way I interpreted it. I don't know if that's they might very well allow it to happen. Which, let's see, that'll be what, going on 15 years of trying to do that.
Yeah.
So like 15 years of attempting at coding this and building on code of code of code. Finally, they can do it. But like the way I think it is just like, oh, we're gonna see the stats of everybody across all platforms, not be able to fight people across platforms.
So what's the future of Crappy Kids looking like? Like, you guys got anything big planned like for your brand?
Future.
No more future.
It's no future. it's wherever kind of the brand takes us, like last year we did a lot of big steps. Last year was the first time we took the brand to the mainland. We did Designer Con in LA, and that was the first time we kind of branched out to the mainland and did an event over there. So
I remember seeing you guys. I know you guys were out in LA the same time I was in San Diego.
Yeah.
I seen that.
So there's a lot of things we're still getting done and still trying to, like, that's new to us, you know what I mean? And as long as like people support us and we still get to do what we want to do, you know what I mean, then it's all good, because we love doing it, and I love doing it, and it's just really fun to be doing it. And future wise, there's a lot of talk, like everyone keeps asking us, like, hey, when are you gonna open up a store and stuff like that, you know what I mean? I like, hey, I would like to, as much as I want to, you know what I mean, stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like we got to get to the point where like we're comfortable enough to just open one a store, you know what I mean, stuff like that. So I would like to open up a store. That's a goal too. But a lot of it is just like, our main goal is just to like I just like to interact with people, you know what I mean, and just talk to people. And the brand is just a way for me to interact with people without being a weirdo, you know what I mean? Like, just go like, hey, I want to talk to you, but I don't know what to talk to you about. But like, hey, I got this brand that kind of like makes us come together. So it's like I'll open up to people because they want to know more about it and stuff like that, and we'll go into more other things, like, video games and stuff like that. So
and then you start learning about memetics.
Yeah, like that. So you know what I mean? And that's what I love about the brand, is that it just brings opportunities. That's what I like about it, and that's why I've continued doing it, because it allowed me to do things that I would never do without the brand, you know what I mean? Which is like travel and just meet certain people and be friends with people. And you know what I mean, like going back to like how we were nobodies from the fucking Blue Scholar show and shit like that, and now it's like I know the people that went in there before us. Now it's funny, we're all friends now and stuff like that. So like, it's just putting yourself out there, and I'm just going wherever the brand takes us and stuff like that.
So what would you say to like an aspiring like brand? I guess people that want to make their own brand and stuff. Because like, I know when I was
a lot of those.
Yeah, when I was I went to LCC. I took a fucking screen printing class. Like, oh fuck yeah, I'm gonna get into this. I'm gonna go fucking make my own T-shirts and fucking slang that shit. But then like, the more I got into it, the more I realized that I can't fucking do this.
There's a lot of work into it.
This is how it works. Like even designing and shit. Like there needs to be more to it. And I just kind of like left that and started pursuing music more so than anything else.
Right. I mean, you find your niche, and stuff like that. So, I tell everyone, like, go ahead and do it. You know what I mean? Hell, if it is another mokewear brand, just do it. But like, you're gonna learn. You know what I mean? Like, if you do it and it fails, then you failed for a reason and stuff like that. And take that failure as a way to kind of learn from it and learn what you did wrong. Learn from your mistakes. Because the brand itself, like Crappy Kids, this is actually our second time running Crappy Kids. Like what Martin was saying kind of earlier. There was a brand. It used to be called Crap Apparel. That's when we actually first started Crappy Kids. That's way back, and like no one technically knew about it and stuff like that. But that's the original Crappy Kids brand. But then that's when I wasn't kind of taking it serious. That's when more I was like, hey, I'm gonna make a t-shirt brand that, you know, I can see these profits. Like, hey, if I sell this shirt, if I buy the shirt for $8 and I sell it for 20, now I'm making this much profit. That was my thinking back then.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm gonna do this, and this is like, I just saw the end money and stuff like that. And that's why a lot of people kind of just start the brand, because they're like, hey, I'm gonna make money, like huge amount of money. Like, there's this profit margin that's really huge and stuff like that. Which you can do, I guess, you know. I mean, yeah, we all got to be in it for the money, because we got to survive through the money and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, it didn't take me until that part of the brand failed, when I realized, like, hey, there's got to be a purpose to this. You know what I mean? You can't just be selling this because you want to and you want to make money. So, yeah, like, we just do it because, I just want to take the brand as far as I can go and stuff like that. So that's why.
And you enjoy poop.
Yeah, I'm into scat. Apparently, I'm into scat. It's weird. I get tagged on some weird stuff on Instagram sometimes. I'm like, why are you tagging me on this? Just because it's a picture of a poop. Sometimes they just tag me. I'm like,
get tagged in poop pictures.
I know. I kind of regret it sometimes that I chose poop like as our theme.
People misinterpreting the meme.
Yeah, like people are like they tag me in the photo like. It's just a piece of crap sometimes, and it's like it has nothing to even do with how our character looks. It's just like a piece of crap, and they tag us. Then I look at it, and I'm like, okay, cool, another one.
Your brand is evolving.
Yeah, it is. So
mimetic evolution.
Yeah, it gets funny sometimes when people like talk about that. Like, I don't know.
You
Like,
should just own it, man. I don't think you should
nah,
regret it, because
I don't. You know what I mean?
You're crap master Chad.
But it's just
The
hilarious.
master of crap.
Of all crap.
It's hilarious, like how it is this such a foul thing, and then it's like we're just over here playing around with it, like whatever. You know what I mean? So it's really
great,
hilarious, man. So, but yeah, I'm glad I get to do this all the time and still continue, and people actually support it. You know, shout outs to them. So, I just hope everyone still continues to support it. And we try to push ourselves too, doing new products and just try to like create some of the coolest stuff that we feel like will be like what everyone likes too, you know what I mean? Because like that's the goal, is just to create things that we will enjoy and everyone else that likes our stuff would enjoy too. So yeah.
Got any questions for them, Ben?
No, I think start wrapping this stuff up. I do want to say though, I really like the Aloha Broha podcast.
The graphic.
Yeah, this is such a cool graphic, and
With the plunger.
and yeah, like you said, like we didn't even realize they pointed out, but there's a straight up plunger
There's
that's
a
holding the
plunger in
microphone.
yeah.
So that's really cool, and so it's really awesome. I think you guys are doing like really incredible stuff. Actually, I do have one that I came up. Do you guys plan on doing anything like the internet branded T-shirt companies, one like tfury.com and stuff like that, where you're gonna do like, oh, we're selling this shirt, and you know, put your stuff out there more. And like one of the things that like T Fury does is like limited edition shirts that are only available for like a day, and if you don't buy it in that day, you're not gonna see it again, kind of thing.
Oh, is that with the comic book stuff?
A little bit, yeah. They do mashups most. Like T Fury is very big on like mashing up two ideas and putting them on a shirt.
Yeah. No, I've seen those before, and that was an option before when I kind of first started doing the whole thing. The reason why I don't like to do those kind of stuff like T Fury is because you don't get much control over what you're trying to do. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure they're gonna choose the blank of the T-shirt, like how the shirt feels and stuff like that.
No, well, I don't mean like going through them. I mean like making your own store kind of thing. Like putting it out there for like everyone to kind of come and just
like an online store.
Like putting a deadline on yourself. Like we're gonna release a new shirt every this period of time, and it's only gonna be up for like this amount of time. So if you want it, go grab it then.
We kind of started doing stuff like that, like making our stuff exclusive. Limited.
Yeah.
It all started kind of with the stickers because we realized like people like certain ones, and if we brought them back, then we would oversaturate the market. Kind of like the Totoro one. Everyone liked it so much, we kind of reprinted it to the point where people got kind of sick of it. So we hid it for a while, and then now that was like 2 years ago. Then now currently people are like, hey, like they see it again. They're like, hey, when are you gonna reprint that and stuff like that? We're like, no, we don't want to reprint it because we want the people that had it earlier to be special, for them. And a lot of people do. They're like, hey, they know who's the original people that, you know, when did you start collecting Crappy Kids? It's like, it depends on what kind of stickers you had and stuff like that. So we kind of translated that into the shirts and stuff like that. And our stuff are limited. Like a lot of it are like usually 50 total run of the shirt. Like that's all it is, like size wise and everything. And once it sells out, it sells out. We tell everybody like, if it sells out and you didn't get it, it's like kind of like, you know what I mean, you should have got it and stuff like that. So we kind of forced that to make it kind of collectible and stuff like that. But a lot of it just came from people just wanting to start collecting it. You know what I mean? We never kind of force people to like be like, hey, collect this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It came about its own way, and like people just like the characters so much. And like Pikachu till this day, we reprinted a second time, and that's out again, and then people are like, hey, are you gonna reprint Pikachu? I'm like, no, this is my second time doing it, or like, you know what I mean, if you missed it, you missed it. So
go on to something new now.
Yeah, because you know, I mean, as much as people want the old characters,
can I get a Lugia Poo?
A Lugia one?
Yeah.
How would
Lugia.
that would be cool. Lugia and Ho.
Oh yeah, that's another thing, man.
Yeah.
Because I bet you guys get like hella requests on stuff.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
how do
there's a lot.
how do you choose? Like, do you
Choose?
listen to the requests, or do you pay attention to them at all? And
Honestly, a lot of it is I just forget. Like, like people just request like, hey, then I'm like, oh yeah, that's a totally cool idea. Then I
Go home
Then
and
I go home and I
forget.
forgot. Like, I just recently teased Baymax on our Instagram, and people are flipping about that right now.
Nice.
Like, and then no, but Baymax got requested like long time. Like even when the movie first came out, like even I wanted to do a Baymax one, and it just kept like getting put on the back burner and stuff like that. And it's stupid because it's so simple to do. It's just two eyes and then the line, and then just like, you know what I mean. It's so simple. Like I have it on my phone. Like, oh well, you can't see, but pretty much like it's so simple. Like, and then like sorry, he's right there. Like, you know what I mean. Like that's all you have to do. But it took us this long to do it, and we're finally gonna release him later this month, and it's just people requested, and then I just kind of forget. I do have a list that I write down of like characters I do want to do, and sometimes they're in a schedule like, hey, this movie's coming out, let's release a character with this movie. But other than that, people do request, and I just totally forget sometimes to do it. And it's also dependent on if I can get my graphic designer available to do it, because the more complex characters I can't do myself. Like it'll look horrible. Like, you know what I mean? Like this Totoro I designed myself, which is decent, but like all these guys I designed myself, but when our graphic designer Kichi, when she does it, it's more detailed and stuff like that. So I'd rather have her do it than me, and it'll look super simple. Like that's why I did the Baymax one, because it's so easy to do.
Really
you know what I mean?
easy,
Yeah, like really easy. But even when I showed her the initial Baymax design I had, she's like, no, make sure you move his eyes a little bit more to the right, to the left, and stuff like that. I'm like, like holy crap, I didn't catch that the first time I showed it to her, but she caught it, and then that's why she's there technically, to make it more look correct, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or else I'll end up with stuff like this where it's like kind of looping over the design and stuff like that. So but yeah, character wise, people do request, and I do take it into account. It's just mainly me figuring out when we can release it in the schedule, kind of thing.
And I imagine too, it's like if someone says something, you're like, oh shit, we should be doing that. That's probably like the best. Like, so like, would you say do you want people to continue like coming up and saying, hey, you should do this
definitely.
one? Yeah.
Because I do miss a lot. Like, you know, sometimes it doesn't cross my mind until someone says it.
Right.
Then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm totally into that too.
Okay, so everyone flood his Instagram and his Facebook with just
it.
ideas.
No, there's times where I kind of like, hey, who do you want to see? And then people just flood it with like, recently was the Baymax one, and we finally did Baymax.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get some weird stuff sometimes. Powerpuff Girls, people ask. They're like, oh, they're like Sailor Moon. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if we can do Sailor Moon, because Andre technically is a guy, but you know, maybe we'll make it. Well, we have like a girl version. Her name is Andrea. We just add an A in there. So
the poop's name is Andre.
Yeah, so the poop's name is Andre. If you want to know the backstory on that, pretty much, it's not that great. It's just pretty much, if you look at this is the original design, our first T-shirt design we had.
Where did he come from?
Yeah, so technically, if you look at this design, how it's just square logo on the top and the character on the bottom, right? We technically took this from, if you know, Obey, the graffiti artist Obey. So
Shepherd Ferry.
His whole thing was Shepherd Ferry. Technically, his whole thing was have Andre the Giant in here in the middle, and then it would say Obey on the bottom, right? Yeah. So since that was our first design, we kind of ripped off. We decided to just call him Andre because Andre the Giant. And then like I was kind of against it at the time, like in the beginning when everyone else in the crew was like, just name him Andre and stuff like that. It just stuck, right? But I was like, no, I want to make it like more like, you know, it has like a crappy kind of name or whatever, like a twist or whatever. But they're like, nah, everyone is calling it Andre already. You gotta leave it as Andre. So I'm like, screw it, then we'll leave it as Andre. Like I had like other ideas of calling it some kind of like this one guy came out like, why didn't you call him like Captain Third Wheel or something like that? You know, like Third Wheel or some kind of like, it plays on the word, right? But then they're like, yeah, it's kind of too late. People just stuck to the word.
The
Andre.
meme is stuck.
Yeah, it's stuck, right? So I couldn't change it, right? I wouldn't like, people would always know it as Andre.
Yeah.
So that's how it turned out to be, and somehow he just became, I guess, a dude. He's a guy, and then when we add like eyelashes or whatever, then it's a girl, then it's Andrea. So that's what happened. You know what I mean? And that's just pretty much it. Just evolved from there, and we're still learning till this day, like what works with the brand and what doesn't. So yeah, it's all a learning experience, and I just tell everybody too, like if you're gonna try start a brand, you know, just do it because you need the experience. You know what I mean? If you just keep wondering what's gonna happen, or you know, if I'm gonna be successful, if I'm not gonna be successful, you know, you never know unless you try it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah, I run into a lot of people that say, "Yo, I want to do this, I want to do that," and
Yeah,
I always
then
say to them, "Why don't you just do it,
just
man?
fucking
Just
do
try
it.
You know what I'm saying?
just fucking do it, because at this point, like, what's holding you back? The only thing holding you back is you, because
Exactly.
you're afraid of failure.
And the thing too is like I think it's almost sometimes it can be like a bad thing to just go and be like, oh, you know, I want to do this to be famous just to be famous. Like I think it's like, you know, I want to do this because I enjoy doing this, and if I get fame from it, great. If not, well, then I'm still doing something I enjoy.
Yeah, because you're
putting too much expectation on that just to say like, oh, I want to be famous. And then like when you take it to heart that you're not really like you're gonna make it, then it's like, you know, you shot yourself down. You're not really learning anything. You're just saying like,
Right.
oh, I didn't get famous.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You got the wrong focus on it when you're doing it.
yeah. I think that's the one mistake a lot of people make. Yeah.
Focusing on the wrong part.
Yeah.
It's easy to do it that way too, because there's so much just flying past our face nowadays.
Yeah.
That it's hard to like see the meaning behind a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you're all about just the end goal and not really about taking the steps, then
Right.
you won't
Right.
get there.
Exactly. That's really well put.
Yeah.
They don't see the temple for the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing too is like I noticed a lot of people, like when they come out with something, they try to be too careful about it. Like recently I had someone ask me, they came up to us, they're like, oh, I'm trying to start a brand, how important is like copyright and stuff like that, right? They're all getting about that. I'm like copyright is important, and it costs a ton of money. It's almost like $1,000 just to get a copyright and stuff like that. But I told the guy, like, you know, technically you don't need a copyright, because no one's gonna steal your stuff if you're a nobody. You know what I mean? Like, like in the beginning, you don't really need one necessarily until you're. I mean, it's good to have one. It's good security, but like I said, no one's gonna steal your stuff unless you're somebody, or unless you're making a ton of money off of it. So there's no reason to be scared of all these kind of business kind of stuff, whatever. About doing a brand or doing a t-shirt, just go and do it, because you know what I mean, you'll learn from there.
And there's some like cheats to that too, because you can always like when you have an idea, one of the old sayings is always, you know, like if you can't afford a copyright right away, you know, mail the idea to yourself,
email the
so that
idea
way
to yourself.
it's stamped by a government agency,
it is.
and then leave it sealed. And then when everything goes through and done, like if someone does try and take this copyright from you or whatever, you can go and contest and go like, look, I've done this before this person did.
Yep.
Here's evidence of it.
Yep. There. Yeah, I read about that.
Yeah,
There
and
is.
it'll end up costing you a little bit more.
Yeah.
But you'll get you have evidence there, just because then it costs you more, because if someone does try and steal it, you then have to fight a little bit in court to show it. But it's worth it if it's if you care about it.
Yeah, and then the worst thing is, like, if you try to be too safe, you'll end up spending $1,000 on something, then your brand
And then
doesn't
it's-
take off.
then-
Then
yeah,
you just
then
have
there's
this.
nothing to do, yeah.
So just go and do it. Like, if you want to create that mokewear brand, go and do it. But
Well,
hey,
I think it's about time we start doing some plugs.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what do you guys got? What do you want to promote?
Oh, I mean, this month we just have the Baymax. It's just fucking shit that we're doing.
Well, put out your website, your Instagram, any place where people can follow you and find you.
If you guys want to follow us, Instagram is @crappykids. Twitter is the same.
also.
Facebook is the same, Crappy Kids. Our website is thecrappykids.com. But yeah, I mean, no, I don't think I'm missing anything.
Even if you can't catch us on social media, you can come out to next event, Art and Flea.
Yes, Art and Flea. We're gonna have Art and Flea at end of this month.
It's every last Thursday, right?
Yes, every last Thursday of the month. Yeah, so if you guys want to catch us, we always try to do 2 events every month, which is Honolulu Night Market, which is every
third
Saturday of the month, but we only get to do it every other month now. And every last Thursday of the month is Art and Flea, which is at Ward Center. If you guys want to catch us there, because a lot of people were like, hey, where's your store? But we just do a lot of local events. And if you do want to catch some of our recent products, we do have it here at About the Goods in McCully Street. So we have some of our recent
930 McCully Street on the 2nd floor.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, while you guys were talking about the MF Doom and whatnot, I was sitting there, I was like, there's like crappy kid stuff. There's a shirt over there, a giant like cardboard cutout over here, little pictures all over it. Is all like the crappy kids and a bunch of other MF Doom stuff.
Y'all up in this bitch.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a giant Baymax one, and everyone's gonna fight me for it because they want it so bad. I know already. I know people want that
World
Baymax
Star.
one. So,
Well, you can find me at TripHas808 on Twitter, Ben Hamilton on Facebook. Follow the Aloha Broha podcast on iTunes and Stitcher. Cozy, what you got?
You follow me at John Cozy on pretty much all the fucking social media. And follow us at AlohaBroha.com. Subscribe, just like fucking Ben said. And also check out greenleafcheck.com. And after you see the crappy kids at Art and Flea at every last Thursday, you can come on over to the Safe House at the Republic by Alamana, where you can come watch us fucking DJ at the Greenleaf Check event, which is held every last Thursday of the month.
Boom.
Yeah. Boom.
yeah.
Wouldn't it be weird if Bill Murray showed up right now?
Bill Murray. Holy crap. That'd be awesome.